God Talk Unfiltered.
So I have the last time and this time I had thought, I had a feeling, I had a vision, but I didn't know if it was a story. I didn't know if it was a God story. I didn't know if it was something that someone may need to hear, and I have no idea if it's going to flow, if it's going to make sense. But what I'm going to do is allow Spirit to come through with some of my experience and share it with you, and so it is. So, I was born the baby of the family and raised as an only child. I lived with a lot of different people growing up. Some of them were family, some of them were not. I lived in different houses on the weekends, different houses during the summertime. I lived with a lot of people. I was raised kind of like around drugs, alcoholism, neglect, abuse, so on and so forth. And please don't take this as a poor me type thing. I'm just trying to give you something to envision to whatever else is going to come out of this. Through all this, I didn't know the stuff that I saw, I grew up around, was bad or anything. I didn't label it that. Family and people outside of the family would say such things. So by the time I got older, and I went to like 8 different schools from kindergarten to 12th grade, and by the time I got to 8th grade, I finally stayed in a school district where I could like see the same people again and again. 9th grade came, 10th grade came, 11th, 12th, and I actually graduated. Well, I didn't think anything bad about graduating. And I can't remember if it was just before I graduated or after I graduated. My grandma had let me know that our family did not expect me to graduate. And I held on to that for many years, and I didn't understand what it was. Because, see, in my life, there was one thing, or at least one person, technically 2, that were in my life all the time when I was going through the things that I didn't know I was actually going through because I was raised around it. That was my grandma Best and my grandpa Best. And when I would get sick, my mom did not take care of me. She took me to my grandparents' house. And I didn't see anything wrong with it, anything bad, until other people start saying whatever they say. But my mom did what she was supposed to do, what she was guided to do. And out of all this, I learned these cute little funny things that I can't believe I'm going to actually share with you guys, that my grandma would say, like, when I was like 3 years old. There was these stone steps, and you'd have to take the steps up to the house, and I'd crawl or walk up them, and I think I was about 2, I was young, so they're real big to me. And I get up to the top one, and I can't demonstrate because then you won't be able to hear me, but I put my hands on my leg, and I'd be like, whew, Grandma, those are some big steps. And she would just, oh, and I'm not going to say the other nicknames she would call me or anything. So she took care of me in a way I didn't know. She would wake up super early in the morning, and I'm talking about like 3 o'clock in the morning, drinking her pop, smoking her cigarettes at the time when she smoked, in dark. And I believe to this day, because I didn't get a chance to really sit down and ask her about this, that was her meditation time, her connection with God. And through this, she prayed. She prayed for me, she prayed for our family, she prayed and prayed and prayed. But she didn't, get on her knees, she didn't, we weren't Catholic or anything like that, or any of the other stuff that people do. But she had her one-on-one alone time. So, in 1998, I would just finished up my freshman year of college, getting ready to go into my senior year. And I had a college job. And this college job, I worked 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. on my feet, on concrete. It was horrible. And this one day I came home, and I was exhausted. And I went right to bed. And it was like an hour, maybe 40 minutes later, my mom walked in. And as soon as she touched the door, I immediately woke up out of a sound sleep, sat right up like I knew something that I didn't know what I knew. And my mom didn't say anything. She handed me the phone, and it was my aunt. And my aunt had let me know that my grandma Best had passed away. And I lost it. Every bit of me at that point, I lost. I jumped out of the bed. I ran. I went into the living room. And I dropped to my knees and asked, how am I going to live without my angel? And I can't really remember all the other details except that I was gone, lost, empty. And I tried to go back to school. I physically went back to school, like my body went. And as I was in class, I would sit there, but I don't know where the rest of me was. And as I was there, I couldn't think. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even sleep. So there was this one day where I hung out with some friends and I drank alcohol. I literally rollerbladed while drunk, no food in my stomach whatsoever. So, I was drunk. And then my roommates had said something about wanting to talk with me, not at the same day. This is a whole nother time, just trying to paint the picture. Wanting to talk with me about, are you okay? And I couldn't look at them. I couldn't have my roommates touch me like this, because the way I felt like I was going to explode, but I didn't have an outlet. And all of a sudden I had a feeling. And I grabbed my stuff and I left Mount Pleasant. And I drove. And I drove to what I was called to drive to was the first rest stop. And as I went there, I didn't have to use the bathroom, but I parked. Something told me to do this. So I got there, and I remember sitting on this picnic table, kind of like on the edge, like where that one chair is. And I sat there with my legs dangling by myself, and I looked out. And the expressway was far, far, far away. And I had this feeling. I was called to go out to the expressway and get hit by a car. Because what I felt, I couldn't express. I couldn't feel, I couldn't think, I couldn't eat. And I didn't even know why that came about. And all of a sudden I had this vision. The car had two parents, a grandparent, and I can't remember if it was two grandchildren or one, and a family dog. It was almost kind of like a station wagon looking thing. And it showed me, Ethan, if you do this, you will affect these people's lives. You may die, but they will have this with them for the rest of their lives. And I couldn't take that responsibility. So I went back home to the college, that is. I turned around, went back to Mount Pleasant, and then I went to the hospital for 72 hours because I had no idea what to do. Now, I say that because that's my story. That's one tiny thing of the things that I've seen and went through in the past almost 41 years of my life. If I would have done that, now I get to look at, because that was 1998, now I get to look at all the lives that I would not have crossed paths with. All the relationships I would never have, romantic and non-romantic, all the jobs that I would have done, all the experiences. And so what I'm hoping that this story does is let you know that you're never alone. We've all seen things. We've all gone through things. We're all going to go through things, no matter how old you are. If you think that you're at a certain age and life's that, I promise you no. My grandpa will be 95 pretty soon. Trust me, life goes on, things happen. We're always young. We're always learning. There's always different levels for us to go through, for us to experience. We have to allow ourselves to maybe sometimes have that one-on-one time with Spirit, with God, the divine, the great I am, whatever speaks to you, whatever aligns with you. And listen to those whispers. There is something for you to gain, to embrace, to hold close to you, and to walk forth in your path, whatever that may be to you, not to someone else. And walk with your head held high and feel that humbleness come over you. Because you are prayed for, you are loved, you are guided, and you'll always, always, always be protected and taken care of. Thank you.